How long has it been? How many years have I eaten at this same table? The dark stained wood is hidden beneath long melted candles, the wax formations like melted bones, or the flowing stone of a cavern, touching the border of intricately woven tablecloths. The painstaking labor of family servants who have all nearly withdrawn from this estate. So few dined with me. I can already see the uneaten shares, which will be fed to the hounds. Foods adorning the ancestral plates, platters of roasted boar's head, breads of rye, the honey of the bee, dripping from baked crimson apples. Cinnamon, the lover of memories. Nutmeg, the sleeping thief. Anise, the indulger. Poppy, the dream giver. Garlic, the cleansing sting. And the red wine within my goblet, mixed with 3 drops of wolf's blood. These halls are longing, and it seems they are ever empty, yet ever calling, and I find the sound of my own echoing footsteps to be comforting, even more so than the thick-furred coat I don on these cold, damp nights, but never comforting enough, just as the sword of my father, which hangs upon the mantle, is never as good as it was in the stories I remember from my youth, of how we had true foes once in time. There was a cause that people rallied to, and the villains were as clear as the courses of action everyone longed to see fulfilled.
Those days are gone now, son.
I recall my father telling me, as he looked into the flames of the hearth, perhaps unable to look at me, because in my face he would have been looking into himself.
The sharply drawn lines have all been washed away. The rains of time, which change all, have seen to that.
He spoke as if reading from some great tome, some secret book, which chaptered all of history.
We are now the villains, held within ourselves, and we are now the heroes, asleep inside our mortal shells.
I stroll onto the balcony, a night where the moon plays hiding games, emerging from out a shroud of black clouds, only to recede back again once spotted. The evening symphony is in full, with the songs of crickets and banshee flies, the croaking chorus of frogs, both the bubbling trill of the spotted ones and the warbled grunts of the gluttonous bullfrogs, who are only outdone on occasion by the splash of something large going into the bog water, or the low, bass-muted grumble of some unspeakable swamp beast.
It is the swamps, master,
my former butler once said to me.
They keep the guests away. Now that your father has passed, and the retainers have fled, your coffers are drying, and this keep is sinking. The estate is overgrown.
He lectured me, as if I had not strolled the walkways each night and watched the slow decay creep upon us like a rampant weed whose roots cannot be eradicated.
The rains and swamp mists have drenched our home. The gazebo is more like a dock now, and if you would care to pay a visit, you would see that the cemetery is half flooded.
Again no news fell upon my ears, for I had sat at the peeling bench of the gazebo, watching a moccasin snake slithering around the tombstone of my great-uncle Orlov Wolfmoor. For a minute straight it had stared at me. Its cold orb eyes held nothing but unblinking starkness, and in its gaze it seemed to know me, to know my lot in this world.
Look at me.
Hissed the viper.
I kill with my own body. I make my way and make my due. But you are fed by the hands of other people. At best, firing your crossbow from behind the safety of your charging wolfhounds. Your hunting dogs trained to compensate for your lack of cunning. You cannot swim through the bog-laden channels of the swamp, nor climb the moss-covered trees. You can but hide away on the edge of it all, inside a strange mound of stacked rocks, stoking your torch fires and praying for morning. Yet, you think you can live forever somehow, that you will escape the far-reaching grasp of fate. I know I will be taken any day, dragged to the lightless depths of these murky waters, and devoured alive, and I care not! Unlike you, man. You believe you will find some great salvation, some spiritual antidote, some salvation elixir, and your belief will only be shattered by your own dying breath. Just as the corpse whose grave I crawl upon now was torn from its hopeless dream. Humans.
The snake flicked its tongue.
I cannot imagine a being filled with more delusion and greed.
How long has it been? How many years have I sat upon this throne? The head seat of a banquet table relinquished to abandonment, wasting the last few spoils, and those that remain were not even claimed by my own doing, a symbol for my very life, handed down from a generation of glory. The lord of a manor who no longer celebrates the day of his birth, who no longer recognizes the faces of his own people, who is lost in the swimming lull of wine and smoke, always trying to dream the dream that was shattered, chasing the ghost of a girl who was lost in the marsh-riddled forests. Perhaps if I can lose the ability to experience time, time will cease its hold upon me, and the pervasive pall of this land will not engulf my body, as it has already engulfed my soul.